Welcome to Exam Assure. So today we will be discussing about the strategy that can be used for the last 45 days for the upcoming exam of the Assistant Town Planner, which will be conducted by the Rajasthan Public Service Commission. Along with that, we will also discuss briefly about part B of the syllabus and how to strategize that, as well as resources in detail for part A of the syllabus. Now, I'm sure you all are aware about the syllabus by now, wherein the syllabus, if you know, is divided into two parts, that is part A and part B, where part A, one is expected to know about the general knowledge of Rajasthan. And as far as part B is concerned, it is related to the concerned subject, that is our planning part. Now, as far as the marking system is concerned, paper A or part A will consist of 40 questions for 40 marks, that is 1 mark each. And paper B will consist of 110 questions of 110 marks. So again, 1 mark for per question. So here you can analyze that paper B or planning part has more weightage as compared to paper A. However, that again does not mean that you can ignore paper A. It is equally important and will play a very crucial role in getting a good score. Now, as far as part B of the syllabus is concerned, what our team at Exam Assure has done has divided the syllabus into different subheads or subtopics. Now, why this has been done is primarily to help you better strategize or categorize and structure your study in a proper manner. So if you see, the whole syllabus roughly can be divided into 13 subparts for part B, like planning, planning history, legislation, policies, urban governance, transportation, building construction, so on and so forth. Now, even if you see for the planning part or the under the subtopic of planning, you have various topics. For example, you have your regional plan, development plan, special area plans, zonal plans, etc., etc. Right? Along with that, you have policies that one is supposed to know, different kinds of analysis that are needed with respect to planning and so on. So if you see, planning part overall has a major weightage or a large number of topics that needs to be covered. Now, as far as history is concerned or legislation, planning legislation is concerned, you're supposed to know different acts, bylaws with respect to Rajasthan as well as pan-India level, some of them. Same goes for urban governance, housing, society, transportation planning, building construction, environment, so on and so forth. Now, looking at all of this, I'm sure thoda tension aaya hoga, you must be tense, ki there's so much to cover, what can be done. So what should be the strategy? Now, if we've seen that, part B consists of more marks as compared to part A. However, both need to go hand in hand while studying. And again, in part B, we can categorize it into two sets of first priority and second priority. So like we saw that planning had a larger number of subtopics to be covered. So all the planning related topics could be put on the first priority, and other topics, let's say like building construction and so on and so forth, what you can see here, could be put on the second priority list. Now, that again does not mean that you need to study only first priority. No, you need to cover both the topics or both the lists and topics from both of them in order to get a better score. Now, as the time that we have at hand, now today is 23rd, and as I hope you know that the exam is on the 16th of June. So we roughly have about 45 days in hand. Now, what can be done? So starting with the first priority list, starting from today, let's say, you finish off with the planning part, planning history, and side by side also do the part A of the syllabus. Now, in this case, these need to go in hand simultaneously, as we have very limited time in hand. Now, once that is done, on one Sunday, you can test yourself at the end of the week as to how much have you studied, how much have you understood, and so on and so forth. Now, same thing, the next week, the first week of May, you can focus on housing policies in India, urban governance, legislation, so on and so forth. And then again, take a test. So Sundays, basically, or weekends, you can keep for uh, testing yourself, checking how much you've completed, and so analyzing basically how your study is going. Then we can move to transportation planning. Now, once these priority one list subjects or topics are done, then we can move to the second priority list. So here we can cover up environment, climate in 1 week. Again, give 2 days for disaster management, 3-4 days for building construction and urban infrastructure, and the part of society. Now, once this is done in May, so by May end, one should be able to cover up uh, the entire syllabus. Now, this whole strategy, what I'm discussing with you is keeping in mind that at least you've gone through your syllabus and your notes, or you've started studying and you've gone through all of it at least once or twice, or have at least studied properly in college. Now, by the start of June or the first 2 weeks, so from 1st till 10 June, first 10 days of June, we need to keep for the first revision where you cover up or go through everything what you've done in the past 40 days. And the last 5 days right before the exam, you can have a second revision, which would be very short and crisp, wherein you are memorizing things which you were probably finding difficult to remember, and so on and so forth. And the same pattern or the same strategy is what we will also be utilizing in our crash course that we'll be conducting. Now, as far as part A of the syllabus is concerned, now for part A, we had a lot of queries asking us about what can be done. There are no resources, so on and so forth. So we have detailed out different resources. Now, just to simplify, you really don't need to study a lot of all the GK material that is available in the market. Simply refer the Rajasthan state government school textbooks that you all might have utilized in your school as well. So what we have done over here is segregated topic wise part A, which chapter from which book also can be referred to by you to cover the topic for part A. So for example, let's say for history and culture and heritage related to Rajasthan, you can cover or you can utilize class 9 social science books, class 10 history and culture textbook, right? So these two books majorly cover most of the topics, and it is enlisted here as well. So you can, if needed, you can take a screenshot or you can go through this recording, and where it is, if you see or read one chapter as well, you'll understand that they've given it very well in detail. So you go through these will be more than helpful for you for preparing for part A. Same goes for geography part in the part A, class 9 social science book, class 11 geography book, and class 10th social science and class 12 geography book. These 4 textbooks are more than enough. And again, you do not need to read from end to end. We've also given detailed chapter wise that which chapter can be referred to for which topic. And if you go through it, it's given in so much detail. Like for example, the rivers and lakes chapters, it talks about detail about where or which all lakes are sweetwater lake and which are saltwater lakes, and so on and so forth in the state of Rajasthan. So up to that level of detailing is also given. So these resources shall be more than enough for part A. Same goes for your economic development as well. Current events, I'm assuming that you might have been reading newspapers or been updated with current events as of now. Other than that, for important persons of state, you can refer to the class 9 social science chapter 7. And as far as different international organizations and so on are concerned, what you can do is the names anyways are enlisted here. Go to their website and do a little bit of your research as well as to what all can be studied or understood from these, right? So that is another important thing. Also, these are a few of Exam Assure's previous year's results. And as far as the part A is concerned, you can scan this QR code and download the study material, or you can visit this site on the Exam Assure website, or visit the link on the Exam Assure website and download this study material as well. So thank you. Hope this was helpful, and all the best to all of you.